when you get the actual book and you turn to the first page, there's a glossary in it, which I think is important. And so in this glossary, there's a couple of concepts that are important. So you see here these glass bottles. They are useful vessels, and I'm going to use that as a metaphor for our adult selves. We are useful vessels. And I say we because I just turned 35 last week. I think I'm pretty solidly in adulthood, in the age that is granted, credence in our society. I finally got over the hump of having enough experience for people to not think it's my first day at work, I feel like. But we're useful vessels. We go out, we get jobs, we're productive, and our value is really based on how productive we are and what we can do and what we can add. And I don't know if any of you like this, but I grew up on the beach, and I've collected seaglass my whole life, these little worn treasures, pieces of glass that get hidden in the sand. And I always thought it was so fun to find them, and I would get so excited about this treasure. And as I was thinking about this concept of dementia, I found it's actually a pretty good metaphor for how I see people living with dementia. That, in adulthood, we are useful vessels, and at some point, the world sees us as not so useful anymore, and we get discarded. Talk to anybody who's trying to find a job later in life. They will tell you just how much ageism there is out there that makes that hard. So you get discarded, you get smashed and beaten up by life, not that great, tumbled around in the waves and worn into treasures by time and waves. So just seeing this metaphor of, yes, glass bottles are great, they're super useful, but I see sea glass as a treasure, and it's something different whose value isn't in its use at all. Its value is in, its rarity and its beauty, and just similar to art, it has a value all its own. And so I love this as a metaphor of sort of for life, that we become this useful vessel. And yeah, things happen, suffering happens. I want to be really clear. I get called Pollyanna a lot. I am fully aware of the suffering that comes with living life, especially living life with dementia. Personally, I just think that gets a lot of airtime. So I'm trying to give airtime to the other side of the story as well. I don't deny it at all. There's more to the story than just the suffering. So yeah, two other definitions that are important thinking about this is whole. So being in an undamaged state and in one piece. And then in our society, we tend to think that healing means to make whole. We go to the doctor to get better, to be made back whole. But anyone who suffered a loss, whether it's of an arm or a spouse or an ability, knows that healing isn't actually about going back to a state of wholeness. Healing is about going forward and finding our next way of being. And so I feel like these two concepts of whole and healing, moving forward to a new way of being, and this metaphor is really helpful to hold how I see dementia. So the sea glass has moved forward into a new way of being. It's not a whole bottle anymore. It never will be a whole bottle again. It's something new, and it's finding that new normal.